Hashtag Occupy BOG protests. We are poised for Tuesday. This is coming from the minority, and this is a story you can find on the Citi newsroom by Beverly London. The story reads, the minority caucus in Parliament has indicated its preparedness to proceed with its planned protest against the Bank of Ghana's governor and his two deputies. On Tuesday, October 3, the caucus will march to the central bank's headquarters to demand the resignation of its governor and deputies after the bank recorded 60.81 billion cedi loss in the 2022 fiscal year and the use of over $250 million for the construction of a new headquarters. Mahama Ayariga, the Member of Parliament for Bawumia Central, told Citi News that the caucus has consulted extensively and is poised to protest on Tuesday. He added that the Regional Police Command has agreed to the protest march and that the caucus will continue to protest until the governor and his deputies leave office. A quote, "We have been working on this and we have been holding community sensitization programs across the Greater Accra region, and we are ready for the planned protest on Tuesday. We have been well received in all the communities that we have gone to, and they are preparing to participate in the protest. We will continue to protest until the governor and his deputies leave office, until we have a clean sheet at the central bank so that new leadership can be put in place to spearhead the process of restoring the integrity of the central bank. We held meetings with the Regional Police Command and agreed on the route, the time, and they are ready to be there to provide whatever assistance," unquote. So this is coming from the minority, and to be specific, Mahama Ayariga, MP for Bawumia Central. I'm starting with you, Jeffrey. Are you going for the protest tomorrow?
I would have a workshop to attend, but when I close, I'll join them.
Okay.
Because this is actually, these are genuine concerns by Ghanaians, and when we have the right to protect our public funds, you know. It's an issue of wastage. And clearly, when I listen to the voice of the persons organizing this protest, all of us have always been there to protect. It's important to protect this public purse. That's important. We are calling for a halt of the wanton wastage, you know, and you're talking about 60 billion Ghanaian cedis. While accepting from the governor of the Bank of Ghana that the BOG was not established to make profits, a quick call to him is to let him know in all humility that we also did not establish it to come and bless us with wanton wastage. Ones that, look, we cannot defend. This is annoying. You see, when you are hearing that there are persons in Kolebu, their lives are on the line, you know, because they cannot afford the services of a medical service that they need. It's a lifeline, you know, and dialysis cannot be toyed with. People are even reducing it from maybe 2 times a week because of financial constraints.
And it's even more pressing when you look at children because they don't have access to dialysis.
Exactly. So you look at it and then you hear a governor tell you that, look, they were not established to make profits. Yes, but they were not also established to make losses, because we look at precedents coming home. How many, has it ever happened? And you are talking about 60 billion. Look, let me quickly tell them that, look, we are going on the route of financial prudence. And some of us, I've told you, sometimes I thank God. Look, if I am on the grounds and I hear some of these things, I get angry. When you look at children lay on their belly and they are writing, when you look at children crossing rivers and then they drown and die, what really is their crime? What is their crime? When you waste 60 billion and all they need is just a chunk of it. Look, let us make this thing very direct for people to understand. You are talking about 60 billion. When you look at 60 billion cedis, it is at even 5 million. If I was confused and I was building a primary school, the 6 block classrooms, and I was very confused, and I was even giving 5 million Ghana cedis, that is some 12,000 schools lost to the state. If we were using just 5 million Ghana cedis, we've lost 12,000 schools. And if you were distributing 12,000 schools in just 1 year, then look, after a year, we shouldn't be talking about school buildings again. That's how grave the issue is. Finally, you talk about the same amount. If you were actually using 3.7 billion and you're looking at a regional hospital, all 16 regions will have a new regional hospital sitting somewhere close to their regional hospital, just like you did for the regional hospital. So you built a hospital within the confines of a hospital, okay? And if you were looking at 60 billion, that's what you could have done with it. So it is important that, look, we depoliticize it, remove tribes from it, remove religious affiliations from it, as a normal Ghanaian, with all due respect, sit down quietly, look through it and see, look, this is not an institution that was actually established to make profit like somebody is telling us. But let that people know that we are talking about financial prudence. If you had kept this money, what could you have done with it? You could have, look, sponsored people to go to, into agriculture, into tourism, some areas that you can invest this money and turn the economy around. So it's important for tomorrow's demonstration to come off.
Right. As for Mensa, I know you've ironed your T-shirt. I know you have even cleaned your sneakers. You are going.
Yes, I'm one of the key organizers of this protest. And we've been through this process for more than a month.
Yeah.
Back and forth with the police. In fact, last week, the police attempted to throw in another, charade again by going to court to ask the court that they want to clarify our route when we have sat in a meeting with you, the Greater Accra Regional Command, and decided and agreed on a route. But tomorrow the demonstration is coming on, and I want to use this opportunity to entreat every Ghanaian, every young person listening to me, every old man, old woman, anybody listening to me today, that tomorrow's protest, you cannot miss out in tomorrow's protest. Tomorrow's protest is going to be the largest protest ever to hit this country. We are putting not less than 50,000 people on the street of Accra tomorrow. Now, we are protesting, or we are going to protest because you, the Ghanaian, you listening to me, watching me, you have been served the most reckless leadership ever to hit any nation. Remember, when we speak like this, it's very sad. People don't see the enormity of the challenges we are confronted with. But the current challenge, threatens the fiber of this nation, what holds this country together. And it's important that we encourage people to come out, to use civil means, to demand accountability, because the alternative will be more dangerous. From how did we get here? We live in a country where our economy is the backbone, is the engine of this country. Holds everybody together. If you're a worker, your salary, how much you buy your bread, how much transportation you pay, how much fuel you buy, everything depends on the run of this country, of the economy. Yeah. This economy runs on two legs. You have the fiscal front and the monetary front. The fiscal front is handled by the finance ministry with a government policy that dictates the fiscal policies. Yeah. And the fiscal policies sometimes may work out, sometimes may not work out. And so, if you have a very reckless finance minister like Ken Ofori-Atta, who knows nothing about management of economy, who introduced policies that will stifle the economy, kill businesses, reduce jobs, and what have you, the central bank is positioned in such a way that it sees these things and implement policy initiatives that will reverse the negative policy of the finance ministry. So you realize that anytime the finance ministry introduces taxes and what drives inflation, you see the central bank at the MPC committee using monetary policy tools. They will increase the policy rate to try to bring inflation down. So the central bank is more like a buffer, an oversight, provide that strong oversight over the policies of the finance ministry. There is nowhere in the world that a central bank has collapsed. And I've thrown this challenge to everybody to give me an example of a country in this whole world where the central bank has collapsed. Anytime we say an economy is in crisis, it is a fiscal front that is challenged.
Right.
Freeman, we were in this country one day and we were told that our economy has collapsed on the fiscal front. So people's savings, people's pensions, people's investment have to be taken to undergo a debt restructuring program before we can even get an IMF program. Ghanaians said no. If that is what is needed, we will put belts in our stomach and absorb and support the government. So we went through a very excruciating debt restructuring program that took away the savings, investment, and pensions of people. That is the sacrifices Ghanaians made at the back of the recklessness of this government. That was not enough. Then we woke up one day and we said the central bank too has collapsed. How did the central bank collapse? A central bank that does not sell onion, does not sell tomato, does not trade in anything. How did the central bank collapse? They say the central bank made a loss of 60 billion cedis in one financial year. They will say, what? How did the central bank make a loss of 60 billion? They said, oh, our people, we bought car batteries for about 30 million Ghana cedis. I said, what?
But I think we know the details of all this, and this is why the protest is happening tomorrow.